All right, on today's player spotlight for Chipotle's Real Food for Real Athletes program, I have with me Keira Roudabush. Keira is a freshman at the University High School and also plays soccer at Orlando City Youth Soccer. So Keira, say hi.
Hi.
It being your first year at University High School, in the fall, I was out to speak to your cross-country team. Obviously, I believe you have a little bit more experience playing soccer than you do cross country. Is that true?
Yes, that is very true. I just started cross country this year. I've been playing soccer since I was like 4, so a little bit new to me.
Yeah. So obviously, with it being your first year, I'm friends with your mom on Facebook, so I kind of would get a few pictures and updates of how you're kind of finding your way throughout the season. Talk about how you were able to, obviously you started out, it's new, maybe your times aren't as good as other people. How did you stay focused on just trying to improve yourself instead of looking at what other people are doing?
Well, even though cross country is such an individual sport, we train so like heavily as a team, and we sort of push each other in that. And it's like soccer. Like the more you see someone else like grow, the more you sort of stay focused on your own path of growth. So I sort of just every day I'd go out there, train as hard as I could, and then, well, not completely as hard because I still had soccer the next like hour. So I would go out there, I train hard, and I would just continue to train over the weekends, even though like we'd either have a meet the day before. I train other days doing like light work to sort of just keep that moving, keep the progression going. But I definitely was not at the top when I started. I started at, I think I was one of the last on varsity, and then I ended up moving pretty well. And it's super fun just knowing that I started off at a level that wasn't like too high, but then I moved up and got into like a super fast group and made it to regionals, which was probably the best experience of my life with cross country.
Yeah, so obviously, like you mentioned, you didn't start off doing great, but you worked at it week by week. Um, when you were finally able to start seeing some of the results of all the work that you put in, did that motivate you and make you want to keep, putting the work in and keep getting better and better?
Oh, definitely. Like even now with like the whole entire coronavirus, my track coach has us doing like runs, and even though it is a bit harder to do it on your own without like some motivation from like your friends and like teammates, um, but it is definitely motivational to see how I'm dropping times even with just training by myself. Like it's motivational, and it's like I can continue to do this and I'll continue to get better.
Yeah, and you kind of touched base on my next kind of topic. Obviously, in the fall, you had high school cross country, and then you would go off to club soccer practice.
Yes.
Um, I never in high school, I never really struggled or had to choose between the two or go from one to the other. Kind of with basketball, but not a ton. Kind of just talk about. Obviously, you mentioned like the wear on your body. Maybe you couldn't exert all your energy at cross country. You had to save some for soccer. Could you feel that extra miles that you're putting on your body? Could you feel that on your legs and all that?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like my teammates, we were sore from just cross country, like running like upwards of like 6 or 7 miles during practice, and we'd be sore because of that. And then when I'd have to go to soccer and I'd run like another 2 or 3, my body it lacked a bit, especially since I was a vegetarian for a little bit and didn't really get as much nutrients as I should have. Like I was super tired and like my body would ache a bit, and that was sort of hard to do, but it was also the best shape I've ever been in because like no like I would be doing 2 sports, and even though it was tiring, it was also sort of like I felt like really accomplished that I was able to do it, but it it was harder than I expected, but it was worth it.
So obviously the physical tiredness is one thing, but the mental tiredness can be another thing, right? So maybe there's days where you get done with cross country practice and you're like, oh, I just want to go home. I don't want to be at the soccer field. How did you kind of get out of that kind of mental fog?
Well, I sort of it was sort of like a thing. I was also like, I'm on a team. I'm on two teams. I owe like my energy to both of these teams. So it was sort of like that. I sort of told myself, I'm like, I'm a team, and a team needs every player there to make something work. And so I was like, I have to go, even though I'm like physically and mentally tired. Um, it's just something I have to do because I already dedicated myself to this. So it was also it wasn't that big of a problem for me because I love my teammates. They're amazing. I've had some of them on my team for about 4 years, and they sort of they've motivated me through like even like personal life things. Like it's just like such a close bond that you have with them, and so like I want to go just to see them, see how they're doing, catch up, and sort of just bond as a team. Because even at practice, when you're doing like little drills that are so tiring and frustrating, you still bond because you're sort of talking and trying to work through it together.
Yeah, and obviously, club soccer, you're around each other for more of the year than you would be with high school
Yeah.
soccer. So you girls get to know each other very, very well.
Yes.
We haven't really talked about your time with Orlando City Youth Soccer yet. How long have you played for the club there?
I think since fifth grade. Yeah, fifth grade.
Okay,
So
so you're now a
uh,
freshman, so about what,
4 years now. It
2 years?
was last. Yeah, it was 4 years.
Okay, so 4 years at Orlando City. I know you've had your battle with concussions
Yes,
um,
I had.
and other injuries along the way as well. Um, what have you learned as far as taking care of your body and how important it is when you're doing such high level sports?
Um, you have to be careful, and you're gonna want to go in 100% and just try to like save like the ball and all of that. But sometimes you can't because you'll get hurt. You have to pick and choose your battles, I'd say. Because my last concussion was because I went a little bit too hard. Um, so you sort of have to pick and choose and sort of ease off a bit, even though you don't want to. You can't go in there full force and just when when you are in such a high level sport where girls are like really aggressive at this stage. So it's just you have to sort of ease off a bit for your own protection. Obviously play to like the highest level you can.
Mhm.
Don't like shy away from every single thing, but like pick your battles if you think you're going to get hurt because no injury is worth one save.
Right. Um, yeah. So then, obviously, you went from cross country season along with club season into your first freshman. Um, Sorry, your first varsity soccer experience. So congrats on making that varsity team. What position did you play? The same position as you did in club, or did you play a different position?
I played a different position, still defense, but I played center D, which isn't the best because I'm very short. And I'd be going up against people who's this one girl from Winter Park who's like 6'2" at least. It's so intimidating back there when like all the forwards are like 5'10", 5'11" and up, and you're over here 5 foot. It's pretty hard. Like during club soccer, I play either right back or left back, but it's so much different in center D.
Right?
It really is.
Yeah. As a center back, you're really controlling, both sides and you're trying to keep the line together, obviously. And now, as you know, playing different positions, it's really difficult to kind of transition from that. So, was there anything particular that you did just to ease your mind? You know, hey, I know this isn't my normal position, but maybe was there anything special that you did?
Um, it was just sort of knowing that like basically I could see almost the whole field. It was me and my friend Hannah, who was the goalie, who sort of was like trying to like guide the team, and that was like super stressful, except especially as like a freshman on varsity, knowing like this is my first year playing this. I've never really experienced this level. Some of them were higher level players than I even experienced in my club soccer. Some of them were lower levels. So it was just one of those things that you have to sort of be like, all right, because we know what this team does. And like if this team is like super good, like because we weren't the best team in the our league. So it was sort of frustrating during that time. Also, with us all basically playing new positions and being thrown into like different positions in the middle of the game when you would start out, like sometimes I'd start out in center D and I'd move into like the wing, and it was sort of hard doing that. But it was also, you sort of have to like ease your mind saying like, all right, this is something new, but I can excel at it just the same as the other positions. I just have to try.
Right, and you kind of touched based on this next kind of topic. Obviously, high school soccer, you're playing with players who are maybe 3 years older than you, and like you said, all different skill levels. For me, high school soccer kind of brought back that joy of playing again.
Yeah.
You're playing in front of your classmates, in front of your teachers, in front of people in the community that maybe wouldn't come out to your club games. Did you have the same kind of excitement and joy around high school soccer?
It was a little bit less stressful because it's like it's high school soccer. It's not really going to get me a scholarship because most people don't go to high school games anymore. Um, they go to club games, so it was a little bit less stressful. It was fun for me, and even though we didn't have too much support from like kids in our school and all, we had a bunch of parents that would come out every single week. Even though like we had this one girl who had an ACL issue and couldn't play for like half of her senior year, and I felt really bad for her. But her parents would come out every single week and support us, even though she wasn't playing. And knowing that like with injuries, our teammates would always come to our games and support, and it was so meaningful, and just it just sort of pushed you along even more, knowing like even though like they don't have to be there, they're here to support you and help you like you do for them every week on and off the field.
So luckily, your high school season wasn't affected due to coronavirus. So you were able to get the full season underway, completely played. Kind of just share what one of your favorite memories from your first freshman varsity experience on the soccer team was like.
My favorite memory was probably it was is this is me and my friend Sadie's favorite memory. She was on the cross country team with me. She got hit so hard in the face one time, and I felt so bad. And she was like crying, and I was like, "Come on, Sadie, you're stronger than her." And then she's just like, "Yeah, I am." And then she's like, "But the girl better watch out." I'm like, "No, don't hurt her, Sadie. Don't hurt her."
Do you remember what
It
team
was
that
just,
was against?
oh, I think it was Lake Highland, but I don't really remember. Like there's also so many like fun memories of us on like the bus, like just it was just like on the bus to like all these games, like it'd just be so crazy. And it's just like sometimes you're just like, oh my god, it's so loud, because I was trying to do homework on the bus a lot because it's just school on top of sports isn't always the best combination.
Yep.
but it was just sometimes you're like, oh my god, I'm trying to do homework. But other times it's just like you sort of have to let loose and sort of just bond with them and just be like, I can finish this homework during the JV game. And it was just that was like what all of us did. We'd like sort of hang out on the bus and do all that, and then we'd go our separate ways and do like stuff during the JV game, and we'd be like doing our homework. It was basically really quiet during the game with us. We were just like, and we'd occasionally look up and watch the game, but it's just like it was sort of hard to balance like all like my homework with like sports.
Yeah, so I know obviously I've done a lot of talks with players from different sports, you know, basketball, volleyball, lacrosse, softball, and the common theme for good memories amongst all these different athletes is the bus rides. I think it really helps get you athletes together, and kind of create that team chemistry. Lastly, what I kind of want to touch base on is I know you're only a freshman, but what are your aspirations? What are your dreams? Do you want to go off and play a sport in college? Do you, I mean, anything? What your major? What would you like to do with that next chapter?
I don't really know about like exactly what major I want, but like I know I want to do like something. I'm choosing between two like completely different things, like the FBI with like the behavioral analysis unit and like forensics and all. But then on the other hand, I also want to like train dogs, so like completely different things. But I sort of want to play sports in high school, in college. Like I want to do like cross country for sure. I want to try to do that. Like if I don't get a scholarship, I don't get a scholarship. I just want to, sort of have that like experience in college too. Um, Soccer, I'm not really quite sure about that because um I'm not going back to club, but I'm staying with high school soccer. But I don't really know if I want to play college college soccer. Like obviously, if I get a scholarship for it, I'm gonna play. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
But it's just I don't really know right now.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you're young. You've got lots of months and years to kind of decide that, but it's always good to start, thinking about, what you kind of want to do. So again, Keira Roudabush from University High School and Orlando City Youth Soccer, thank you so much for joining me, and stay safe and best of luck in the future.
Thank you.